Hi everyone.
Good evening.
It's been a while. We have our special guest today.
He's not very special. He's our weekly only guest.
He's still special.
He's here for the food.
Well, only he gets it.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna talk about, do you have what it takes to have cold beverages? I know this concept is maybe foreign to people who grew up in Western country, because I don't know why. Like even in the cold winter, snowy days, in the restaurant when you ask for water, they still serve you a glass of water with lots of ice in it. But don't you think that doesn't make sense at all? When it's really cold, you're still drinking cold. Shouldn't you like having warm beverages to just to warm your body up to battle the cold temperature outside? So this concept has been it's more familiar in the Asian communities, and also in it's he's very
Vigorously
yeah.
eating.
So the Asian community has known that they shouldn't have too much cold drinks. A lot of my patients, especially Asians, whether they grew up here or grew up in Asia, they know they should have warm water instead of ice or cold water. But sometimes like during a hot summer day, you still get really hot. You can't avoid having some cold drinks or ice creams. But we're gonna talk about if you have what it takes to drink cold beverages, because I think last week I made a post asking people whether what kind of bad reaction they have when they drink too much cold stuff. And apparently quite a few people responded, and they said either some bloatedness in their abdomen, or some people get diarrhea. Some people can like catch cold, like they feel like they are getting sick right away. And for me, when I have too much, I tend to get really dry, cracked lips, and if I continue past that point, it's gonna start bleeding and it's gonna get very bad. And then for those people who have nose allergies, like pollen allergies, they sneeze a lot. When they have too much, they will notice that it's getting worse. So I'm gonna use a few minutes to explain the mechanism, why we shouldn't have too much cold drinks. Let's do this. So this is a picture of our body. I don't know, is that visible? Anyway, so this is the heart. This is our stomach. That's our small intestines. So in Chinese medicine, heart is a fire organ. So when heart is beating, it produces a lot of heat to supply our body. So, and because there is we have an aorta that's connecting heart. That's basically is a very big artery, goes from the heart down to our intestine and to our legs. So in Chinese medicine, the heart and the small intestine, they are kind of like a pair because it's connected by this artery. And so when the heart generates heat, it sends directly to small intestines, and the speed that the small intestine is moving is the same as our heart. So basically they share the same properties of temperature, speed and maybe and also if you want to say pressure or energy, that basically they are kind of like a mirror image, like the palm and the back of your hand. So it's connected like that. So when heart generates heat to supplies our body, the heat goes to our hand and arm, and then the rest sends down to the small intestine, and from small intestine it sends down to the feet. So when you drink something cold, it goes directly down to our stomach. So imagine you have a pot of boiling water and you just dumps like a frozen food in there. It's gonna stop boiling, everything cools down right away, right? So when you drink ice beverages, it's exactly like that. It cools down your core temperature, but our organs need to function at a certain temperature. Otherwise, you're not gonna digest food properly. You're gonna have issue with your normal function of your body, just like when you're trapped in under a very cold weather. First thing your body is trying to do is protect your core temperature. So your hands and feet gets cold, but your core temperature will stay the same as long as your body can. So when you drink these cold beverages, your body knows we're gonna need to pull some heat from the limbs to our core. So for some people who experience cold limbs, and when they drink cold stuff, it's gonna create more cold limbs, because all the heat are kind of goes back to your body in order to warm up this frozen food, this cold beverage, to warm it up to a certain temperature that our body can process. So it draws a lot of heat to this area. So when the heat are drawn to this area, it tends to accumulate here. And but because if you continuously drinking cold stuff, it's still gonna lower the temperature in this area. So your stomach can have some issues, or intestine. Some people get bloated because the cold temperature kind of slows down the movement of your organs. So your intestine kind of slows down, and the food in your intestine or feces in the intestine start moving slower than usual. So it can create more gas, and usually when you have like a normal speed, the gas will kind of move along with the feces. So you don't get bloated, and the feces don't stay in one place for too long. So, and also another issue is that people who have nose or pollen allergies, because the lung is directly beneath the heart. So when you drink cold stuff, it's coming from here all the way down to here, right? So maybe, I don't know if you notice, like when you like drink a lot of cold, like iced drink, you can actually feel like the coldness coming from here and then kind of spread in your lung.
Yes.
So that's why your lungs also gets cool by this beverage. People who tend to have nose allergy will usually have the clear nose discharge. That's usually due to the cold. So when you have already when your lung temperature is already low and you drink even more cold stuff, it's gonna bring the temperature even lower. So the moisture in your lung is gonna accumulate more and create more mucus in your bronchi, and then through your sinus, because lung is connected to our nose, and so more mucus, more prone to allergies. So that's why those people who have nose allergies, when they drink cold stuff, it can tend to get worse. And some people who have even more serious intestinal, like digestive issues, those people who get like loose stool or diarrhea, they tend to have it tend to occur when they have more cold stuff like sushi, or when they have too much beer, or too much of salad. So drinking iced beverage is going to lower the temperature of the intestine, and you will become more prone to diarrhea and loose stool. So these people I described, right, they should avoid anything below room temperature, or even anything below 37 degrees. So because our bodies are usually maintained around 36, 37 degrees. So when you have a drink in this temperature, your body does consume less energy, less heat to warm up whatever you're intaking. And it will help with your condition, whether it's bloated stomach or nose allergy or diarrhea or cold hands and feet. That will help. And for people who don't have this kind of issues, actually there are people who are very, very hot. Their body is like a furnace. It's constantly generating a lot of heat. They don't need to wear too much clothing in the winter. And when they drink that, when they have like an ice drink or beer, they don't feel that coldness spreading in their lung or in their chest. So these people, they produce enough heat to warm up these drinks right away. So they will be more okay to have cold drinks. So the cold drinks will be less have less bad effect on these people. So let's recap. If you have cold hands and feet, or you tend to feel cold than other people, you don't like being cold, you need to wear more clothing than other people, then you shouldn't have cold drinks. Number 2, when you have this cold feeling down your chest when you're drinking the cold stuff. Number 3, when you have pollen or nose allergy or any type of sinus type of issue, especially when you have like a white or clear discharge. Number 4, you tend to have loose stool, or you tend to get diarrhea more easier than other people. And number 5 is you tend to get bloated abdomen, bloated stomachs. So when you have any of these 5, when you shouldn't have cold beverages. So today we're gonna start with like a newer format. We're gonna shorten our video lengths to about 5 to 10 minutes, because before it seems to be too long and too much information in one episode. It's maybe harder to go through. So before we finish, I have
a question. Yes, ice cream. Does that consider cold food? Because I know it's cold, but a lot of people know that it generates a lot of calories. Isn't that a form of heat? Or
it's still cold. It's temperature-wise, it's very cold. It's 0 degree or 4 degree. It's you need to warm up this ice cream until 37 degrees, so your body can. Well, in your body, so your body can process it. When you get to a point your bodies don't have enough heat to spare, you will start have digestive issues.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. That's it for today.
Bye bye.